Hi everyone, I am here with a Bible reading. I hope you're having a great Saturday. Isn't she cute? Isn't he cute? Whichever. I'm going to use this as a microphone for right now, but it's a pen. Sherman and I have a special treat for you today. We usually do this as its own separate video every year, or some years, but we decided to go ahead and put it in the Bible reading today so different people can see it, or you can see it here. Okay, so we are going to do our rendition of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for you. Ready, Sherm? And Sherm's going to follow along with us in his Bible today. He has King James Bible though, so it'll be worded a little differently, but hopefully he can, it won't be too difficult, because I've tried it before and I prefer to read with the one that's going reading, so it's... But I mean, the words are not changed. It's just like, instead of the, it's they, thy, like thy Bible instead of though Bible, and, stuff like that. But they both say this, they all say the same thing here. The King James, the New King James, the New International. But we're going to begin with Rudolph for you. I hope you guys enjoy it. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose,
like a light bulb.
and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glowed.
Like a light bulb.
All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names.
Like Pinocchio.
They never let poor Rudolph
Rudolph.
join in any reindeer games.
Like baseball.
Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee,
Yippee!
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
Like George Washington.
Sorry, I stopped there a couple of times. I always lose my place when we're doing it this way, and I gotta think of, what's the verse now? I messed up a few times. I hope you guys enjoyed your special Christmas song treat today. And today we are going to be getting down to business here. We're going to be reading Revelation chapter 12. We'll be talking about the woman and the dragon. The dragon is Satan, the devil. You'll see that. You'll figure that out soon. The dragon is Satan. All right. When Sherman gets his place, we'll begin. Revelation 12. Ready? A great sign appeared in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in the pain as she was about to give birth. Then another sign appeared in heaven. An enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns on his head. That's Satan. Its tail swept a third of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth, so that it might devour her child the moment he was born. She gave birth to a son, a male child, who will rule all the nations with an iron scepter. And her child was snatched up to God and to his throne. The woman fled into the wilderness to a place prepared for her by God, where she might be taken care of for 1,260 days. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back, but he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. The great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil, or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven say, "Now have come the salvation and the power, and the kingdom of our God, and the authority of his Messiah. For the accuser of our brothers and sisters, who accuses them before our God day and night, has been hurled down. They triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. They did not love their life so much as to shrink from death. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you who dwell in them. But woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has gone down to you. He is filled with fury, because he knows that his time is short." When the dragon saw that he had been hurled to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child. The woman was given the 2 wings of a great eagle, so that she might fly to the place prepared for her in the wilderness, where she would be taken care of for a time, times and a half a time, out of the serpent's reach. Then from his mouth the serpent spewed water like a river, to overtake the woman and sweep her away with a torrent. But the earth helped the woman by opening its mouth and swallowing the river that the dragon spewed out of his mouth. Then the dragon was enraged at the woman and went off to wage war against the rest of her offspring, those who keep God's commands and hold fast their testimony about Jesus. Amen, guys, and that's where we're going to stop with Revelation for today. That was chapter 12, all of chapter 12. All right, so now let's read Psalm 140. Psalm 140. I'm letting Sherman get his place. It'll be for the director of music, another beautiful Psalm of David. This is another really beautiful one. I don't know any of David's Psalms that are not beautiful, even if they're sad. Even if they're sad ones when David is scared or in, stress from like when he was running from Saul and stuff. They're still beautiful. 140? Okay. Rescue me, Lord, from evildoers. Protect me from the violent, who devise evil plans in their hearts and stir up war every day. They make their tongues as sharp as the serpents. The poison of vipers is on their lips. Keep me safe, Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Protect me from the violent, who devise ways to trip my feet. The arrogant have hidden a snare for me. They have spread out the cords of their net and have set traps for me along my path. I say to the Lord, "You are my God." Hear, Lord, my cry for mercy. Sovereign Lord, my strong deliverer, you shield my head in the day of battle. Do not grant the wicked their desires, Lord. Do not let their plans succeed. Those who surround me proudly rear their heads. May the mischief on their lips engulf them. May burning coals fall on them. May they be thrown into the fire, into miry pits never to rise. May slanderers not be established in the land. May disaster hunt down the violent. I know that the Lord secures justice for the poor and upholds the cause of the needy. Surely the righteous will praise your name, and the upright will live in your presence. And that was Psalm 140. For the director of music, a Psalm of David. Don't you just love that part? Surely the righteous will praise your name, and the upright will live in your presence. Just to live in the presence of God. It's wonderful. Can you imagine that day? When you're in heaven with Jesus and God and all of your loved ones that were saved and passed away, friends, your brothers and sisters. and know you're going to be with them for eternity, and you have no more pain. Like if you're like me, for example, or Sherman, in pain every single day of your life, with back issues and hip issues and everything, so many issues, or you have a stomach disease like I have, or somebody that's got cancer, lung disease, on and on, just depressed. You'll never be sick, never have those bad feelings ever again. God will wipe every tear from your eye. There will be no more pain. The old things will have passed away. All you have is feeling great, great health, and pure love and happiness that you've never felt before. That's going to be a beautiful, beautiful time. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 17. I think about it a lot. Proverbs 30:17. The eye that mocks a father and scorns an aged mother will be pecked out by the ravens of the valley, will be eaten by the vultures. Have you ever seen one of them things? A vulture, buzzard, whatever you call them. A good Halloween picture would have been, we was going to town, and in a field there was a whole, like probably 5 or 6 buzzards sitting up there, and they were like on a telephone line, or they were on something, they might have been on a tree branch, but they all had their wings all spread open wide. All of them. It was so creepy looking. That would have been a good Halloween background for your page or something. But those things are so scary looking. They eat the things that are dead. I mean, so they're not a favorite bird. Some people, they're their favorite, but alright guys, well that was our Bible reading. I hope it touched your guys' hearts. Let's get out our homework book here. Now I feel bad for talking about the buzzard. They're beautiful in their own right. And they are some people's favorite birds. And that's okay too. God made them. Let's see. Alright, your question last night was, when King David was a child, who did he kill? Do you know, Sherman?
Goliath.
Goliath, remember? Goliath was a giant Philistine man. There was a lot of giants back in them days, people that are really, really tall. I mean, still to this day, people that are extremely tall. I mean, over 7 foot, 7 foot or over. And there are people like that on this earth still. But there were a lot more back then than there are now. And they're called, a lot of people call them giants today as they did back then. But he was a Philistine man, Goliath was, he was a giant. He was like the big weapon of that army. You know, David was just a little boy. And David, nobody wanted to go up against Goliath because he had a reputation, you know, of killing everybody because he was a big, big man. But David, as a child, went up to King Saul and told him he wanted to do it. And King Saul even tried to give him his sword, his weapon. And King David, he wasn't king then, he was a child. And David was like, no. You know, he trusted in God and he took a rock and a slingshot. And that one hit with that rock, it hit Goliath straight in the head. It rested just in the right spot and he dropped down dead. It's so true, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So then Goliath was dead. And when the army seen that, his army, they turned around and ran. And then King Saul had victory. So that was Goliath. That's why you always hear David and Goliath. And it was David's faith that saved them. David's faith. Okay, this is one we've talked about before. So if you guys were listening, you should know this one. But it's been a little while back, but not too far. The question for tonight is, who is King David's dad? Who is King David's earthly dad, father? And I'll give you a hint. You know Ruth. Ruth and Boaz had a son, and his name was Obed. Well, when Obed had a son, he later became David's father. David was his youngest son. And so it would be Obed's son. So David's father would be Ruth and Boaz's grandchild. So what's his name? That's the question for tonight. Okay, so let's go over our prayer requests. Please keep the following people in prayer: Lonnie Doles Jr. and family, Jimmy Myers, Abby Myers and Rhonda Karshner, Sherman Crabtree. He was up sick all night with his stomach and all morning. But he's got his stomach medicine in him, and he's antibiotic for his stomach, and I think he's doing a little better right now. Please keep Layla and her son in your prayers. He had his surgery done. Everything's, going well. Please keep Michelle Watkins in your prayers. She needs a lot of prayers. She has really bad health. And plus, other problems with, being sad and depressed and living alone. And please keep Judy Thompson in your prayers. Cindy and Jim Welsh, Dora Carper, Garnet Boyer. Garnet won't have her breast biopsy results until the 26th or after. But even the doctor is pretty confident that it's cancer again. So she's really upset. Sherman gave her a hug the other day when she was telling him about it, and she was crying. It's no news you want to get, and especially around Christmas time, it makes it worse. When all your family's around. So many thoughts are going through your head. Please pray for Randy Post, Barb Post, April and Linda Thacker. April's birthday was yesterday, so happy late birthday to our sister in Christ, April. And please pray for Melody Stanley and for Norman Karshner. Okay, guys, that was everything for today. Don't forget tonight's question: who was King David's earthly father? David was his youngest son, but he's the one that got chosen to be king after Saul by God. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another Bible reading. I'll probably be doing another Bible study tonight if you guys would like to join me. Bye, guys.